Hey guys, welcome to another episode of MP Talk, the official MP First podcast. Welcome to the E3 2015 edition. It feels like we recorded the E3 2014 edition like a couple days ago. I don't know, time flies. Like I feel like this year just went by. I have with me the same guys as last year as well. We got Denny. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty fantastic.
So cool, man. We got Jimmy. How's it going, Jimmy?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Just
I
chilling.
think Jimmy's playing Witcher, so he's chill. He's hunting monsters, and yeah, he'll be chill. And then we got Tom. How are you, sir?
I am good, sir. Glad to be on.
Nice. I'm happy you guys could make it, so we could talk about E3 2015. We're basically, just gonna talk about it. Talk about what we're excited about, what's happening this year. It kind of is a bit of a different year than others in that we have a lot more happening in terms of who's showing up and who's presenting. So what I'll do is I'll start by just kind of going through a really quick schedule of events, which start on Sunday, June 14th, and they're actually presentations going all the way through to Tuesday. So here, let's go through it. In the description box below, I'm also going to link this schedule so you guys can, readers can, and listeners can go and kind of bookmark that page if you want to know when and where you can watch all of these presentations. So we'll start off with this Sunday, June 14th. There is the Nintendo World Championships. I actually don't even really know what that is. I'm not a huge Nintendo guy, but that takes place at 3 p.m. Pacific. Later that night at 7 p.m. Pacific, Bethesda is doing their media briefing, and obviously,
No idea what that's about.
yeah, like I do they even have anything to show this year, right?
I've never visited the internet.
So we'll obviously get to that. Next day, Monday, June 15th, starting off at 9:30 a.m. is as traditionally is Microsoft and their Xbox media briefing.
Classic.
Following them at 1 p.m. Pacific is Electronic Arts. 3 p.m. Pacific is Ubisoft. And in the evening, once again, closing it off is at 6 p.m. is Sony and their PlayStation media briefing. And then the next day, what do we got? We have, again, Nintendo. So this Monday, June 16th at 9 p.m. So, 9 a.m. is Nintendo's media briefing. And then another newcomer, at least I think, I don't know if has Square Enix done anything before? This is their first, right?
They have, but last time they weren't super big conference.
Yeah, so doing their own conference at 10 a.m. is Square Enix, or Enix. And then also sort of later in the afternoon, there's the, at 5 p.m., this is still on Tuesday, is the PC Gaming Show, powered by PC Gamer. So that's kind of it's a big list of stuff, a lot of presentations that will be kind of going on throughout the open days of the event. So there's going to be lots of stuff. And it's funny, we were just mentioning this before the podcast, even though there is a lot of presenters, this year's kind of odd because it feels like we know everything. There aren't going to be very many surprises this year, despite the list of presenters. Obviously, Fallout 4 is a huge one. That was announced beforehand. What else was? Uncharted, what's it called? The Nathan Drake collection?
Yep.
And, what else was there?
Sounds like some sort of cologne you splash over yourself.
Nathan Drake.
Nathan
collection.
Drake by Beyonce.
Exclusively at Bonton.
All of these companies have just decided to stop revealing everything at E3 and just announce it beforehand, either through leaks or just simple nods that this exists. This is announced pretty much.
I feel like they're kind of doing media a solid here by letting us report on this stuff beforehand, so we're not scrambling and pulling our hair out during those days.
Yeah.
I
Which
think
is
they're
kinda
probably
cool,
worried
but-
about their title getting lost in the the whole kerfuffle of E3.
Yeah.
Like they kind of want that moment where it can kind of stick out at least for a few hours in internet
Well,
time.
I
Well-
mean, I would say that at least for Ubisoft, they've done a good job of not like leaking any of their new IPs and then like at E3 just like announcing it. Like last year it was Rainbow Six. Like they were done
That
with
was
the
a pretty cool one.
presentation. Everybody was like, "All right, that was a, kind of cringeworthy, but some people thought it was an awesome conference." And they were like, "Wait, Rainbow Six is here," and it was like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
That was a mic
This is-
dropper.
yeah, it was just like so unexpected, and that was like all people were talking about that entire day. So, I think it's more have to doing with they're just trying to like hype it up more than.
Like, I feel
you
like
know.
Bethesda could have done that with Fallout 4. Like they don't need a build up for it.
Yeah,
I don't think they could have just at the very end, been like, "Oh, by the way, Fallout 4."
Yeah, because I mean, it was
See
it was
ya.
on everyone's tongue that
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all of these leaks are coming out, and they were like, "Okay, here's the trailer," and everyone's
And
like,
that was kind of the deal with Rainbow Six. People were talking about it. We kind of expected it, but they didn't say anything. This, I think, really one of the games that might have that effect this year. Obviously not as big, but is the Gears of War franchise, because they haven't said anything yet officially, but we do know there's a Gears of War collection. I'm kind of more personally interested to know if they're also going to announce like their actual new Gears of War project in addition, or are they just doing this sort of remastered? Because it kind of seems like they've had a lot of time, haven't they? Black
That would be
Tusk.
weird.
Well, now Coalition Studios. You'd think that they'd have some time to at least maybe get that, if they're just doing one game, especially kind
Yeah, that
of
would
get
be
that rolling with
kinda
something else.
Disappointing, I think, based
Yeah,
upon the
it would.
footage. Like it's like, yeah, it looks nice and it's 60 frames per second, but it would definitely be disappointing if that's
Right.
what the only thing that they had.
Yep.
I think what worries me the most about having a collection is that they probably are doing what Microsoft did with 343 and the Halo Master Chief Collection and outsourcing absolutely every part of the remastering to different developers and stuff like that, and then right at the end just pile it all together and see if it works, because the last time that it
Yeah.
happened it did not. So
Yeah.
I mean it could happen, and the reason that I am fearing this is that you have the developer, and if they do announce a new game, have they been working on the collection, or have they been working on the new game, or has it been a mix of both?
I would be fine with them saying something like, "Hey guys, this fall we're giving you Gears remastered, but we also, we have sort of a working concept, and the title of our next Gears game, it's called this. Expect that. I don't know what, a year later or something
They could
like
probably
that."
get away with just doing a CG trailer, especially if they're going to be doing a
Yeah.
new cast of characters, just to kind of introduce, who's going to be replacing Marcus and Dom. To be honest,
Yeah. Well, so how should we do this? Let's go. Why don't we just go through everybody's presentation, and we'll kind of go through what, how we think it's going to go down and what we're excited to see. So, should we should we
I
skip
think-
Nintendo?
Yeah,
Are we
I
gonna
think-
skip Nintendo?
I think skipping Nintendo is the best
All right.
because no one.
Sorry, Nintendo. You got some
We're
cool
not-
games, but
We're not sorry.
yeah, we're not sorry at the same time. Okay, we'll start off with a bang here. Bethesda.
Oh, Doom! Doom is coming. It's a thing.
I'm really excited to see Doom for the first time. Yeah. I'll admit I'm not, Denny, we can fight about it if you want. I'm not a big Fallout fan.
Get
There's
out.
nothing. There's nothing
Okay.
really to fight about. It's just that you're
I know,
you're
I'm
not
just kidding.
experiencing. You're not experiencing the things that you should experience in
Oh,
life.
whatever, blah blah
Like
blah.
you absolutely love Skyrim, and you're like begging console manufacturers and Bethesda to release a HD remaster. Play it on PC with bots. But you should play Fallout at least once in your lifetime
I
to
might.
feel that it's just it drags you in. It drags you in and then doesn't let you go. That's how good Fallout is.
I just don't what kind of, it's sort of the art stuff, not the art stuff, the atmosphere and the color it just looks too depressing for me. I don't know. Maybe it's not, but
I mean, I would say that about Fallout 3 definitely, because that
Yeah.
game was just like that game like felt like it was just yellow everywhere.
yeah,
That's how it felt. It's just
it looked
yellow
too grim and yeah. Obviously, the trailer for Fallout 4, it seems like they added some color, and I wonder if
Yeah.
there will be like some cool flashback sequences to before the.
I really hope that is, because in past Fallout games they've kind of like, nodded that like, yeah, bombs dropped and shit happened, but it's not really like, it's always been either part of books or just part of the lore in the game that you learn about through quests. It's never been like experience that panicking feeling that everything is being nuked. Like that just hasn't happened yet. So if they do a flashbacks, that'd be freaking amazing, because that would add an entirely new perspective and new stage to the Fallout franchise that hasn't even been done yet. I mean, it's been done in Fallout 3, but it was kind of like it was kind of just like, here's a virtual world from way back when you're all living in this like little area and you all know that you're being, manipulated, but it's just a quest. It wasn't like the actual thing.
Yeah, but so I'm not expecting any sort of Elder Scrolls announcements at Bethesda. Well, because Elder Scrolls Online just came out. They're probably not working on Elder Scrolls 6.
They totally are.
So,
You
well,
know
I mean,
they-
maybe they are, but I doubt they would have anything to say on that at this time.
Did Bethesda make the and I always get these two mixed up, but they worked on the last Wolfenstein game, right? The New Order
Yes.
or whatever?
Yeah.
I would
So-
love if they had some sort of multiplayer centric version with the with that engine. I think that would be awesome.
Didn't New Blood introduce multiplayer?
I did not play it.
Not like an adversarial, I don't think. There might be a co-op of some sort.
Oh,
but I
the
don't
game
think-
itself, no.
Yeah, no, like the game.
Oh, the DLC
itself,
is the New
yeah,
Blood,
there
right?
was that DLC called New Blood that
Yeah, I'm
came
not
out.
sure. I am not sure.
Oh,
I don't know.
that was like a prequel story, I think.
Mm-hmm.
New Order and then the Old Blood is what it was called.
Yeah, Old Blood.
Yeah,
My
that was
bad.
a prequel.
Oh, yeah,
story.
because the game is called The New Order, so yeah,
Yep.
the Old Blood. That makes sense.
But yeah, I'd like to see that. I mean, they did a lot with the, especially for consoles. It just looked very well done, especially for a title released
Yeah.
fairly early in the console cycle. So good for
Yeah.
them on that. But yeah, I'd like to see something like that. It'd be cool. Regardless if it comes out or not, though, or if they show that. The rest of the show is going to have a lot to live up to, especially, I mean, just between Fallout and Doom alone. That's quite a bit. It's
That
quite a
is,
bit.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
I-
Yeah, and of course we need those Doom beta details. That's been
Oh,
literally over
yeah.
a year that we've heard nothing about the Doom beta since they promised it.
Oh, didn't you have to pre-order something to get
Yeah,
in on
the
that?
Is it
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There might be more ways to get into it now. Who knows? Well, we will find out very soon. All right, shall we move on to the following day?
Proceed.
I think we've covered Bethesda. So Bethesda is pretty high on our excitement list, though. They're pretty. We'll say it's hot.
Well, it's
Or-
because it's their first conference ever at E3.
That too, yeah.
So I mean, it just kind of feels like Fallout and Doom aren't the only things on their mind. You
Probably
know?
not. There'll be something. Might even be yeah, maybe an expansion
super
Elder Scrolls
secret
Online.
Elder
I
Scrolls
don't know.
hint.
That'd be nice. So again, kicking off Monday is Microsoft. I'm personally very, 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 very excited about Halo 5. Here's one thing I gotta say this, like, whether Halo 5 is a good or bad game, their marketing lead up to this announcement has been like ace tier, man. Just if you guys have not, if you're at all a Halo fan, go listen to those Hunt the Truth podcast episodes, because not only are they like extremely well acted, they do an amazing job of like just getting you excited to listen to the following episode and the following episode after that, and just gets your mind racing with like what's going to happen in Halo 5, because they're dropping some pretty cool twists and plot turns in these episodes. And then on top of that, I've been also keeping up with all of the Halo Escalation comics, which are kind of cover what happens between Halo 4 and Halo 5, and with Master Chief and the Blue Team, which was more or less more recently revealed. So I don't know. Just their marketing and build up to this, I think is going to be really, really cool. Have any of you guys, just so I'm not like talking about it and you guys don't know what the heck I'm talking about, have you guys listened to the Hunt the Truth podcast at all?
I got through the first one, and I really it wasn't that I didn't enjoy it. It was just I didn't follow it. I didn't care enough to follow the rest of it, which is surprising because I'm a huge Halo fan. I love the series quite a bit, but I don't know. I just didn't feel compelled to I'll probably watch it before Halo 5 is released. Kind of like I did a binge session of what was it was Forward Unto Dawn. Was that the one?
Yeah.
And then he shows up in the last episode. Master Chief shows up in the last episode on that, I think.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I did a binge watch on that. So I'll probably do the same thing before Halo 5 comes out.
Yeah, they're pretty good, digestible episodes. I think the longest ones are 20 minutes. But I just it's. If you're not caught up, it follows like a journalist who's covering Master Chief and finds out a bunch of secrets and stuff, and ends up doing some whistleblowing himself. And
who also lives a double life as a comedian on a Comedy Central.
Yeah, I cannot like get some of those skits out of my head when I hear him talk. But I think what a lot of people are thinking is going to happen is like they're gonna be talking about some other game during their Microsoft conference, and then like the screen is gonna bug out, and like he'll cut in with his like report, his like breaking report, and because what he's doing right now currently is he's like building all these materials to kind of clear Master Chief of his this view against him that he's a traitor. So I have a feeling he's gonna like come out with that at the E3 presentation, but they are doing the 2-part finale episodes this Sunday, I think. So that might even just be all wrapped up before they talk about Halo 5 whatsoever.
I'm really just interested in how they're building this game up for the people who aren't like paying attention to like the podcast and the comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like their trailers for it have been absolutely stellar and just full of cliffhangers. You know, like the one where Chief is, pointing his pistol at Locke, and then the reverse trailer where it's Locke, pointing his weapon at, Chief. Like they have done stellar marketing for the game. I'll give them that. And what's really got me like super hyped is that they're breathing an actual expanded personality into the Master Chief. Whereas before it was just like, he's a walking tank with an AI chick that tells him what to do, basically, and provides, occasional yelling and Chief and all that stuff. And now they're taking that and just, they're making him a fleshed out character. And that's what I'm really looking forward to, is because, no longer is he going to be like this very quiet and monotone, robot, super soldier kind of thing. He's going to be... they're capitalizing on the fact that he's also human.
Yeah, they're humanizing him in Halo 5. So
I'm just really excited for the story personally, and then the recent details on the multiplayer having I think there's another beta, I'm not sure, but all of their DLC for Halo is free.
All their maps are free. To be specific, I mean,
maps.
They're going to come out with something else to buy, like be it skins or
to monetize it.
Yeah, something to monetize. But no, what they hinted at that they're revealing at E3 in the multiplayer space is this sort of this new ultimate Halo mode that incorporates the entire sandbox. That's the way they put it.
When I hear the word sandbox, I think I think Forge immediately. So some sort of creation tool of some sort in terms of how.
That's where you went, huh?
That's kind of I don't. When I hear sandbox, I think when they say we're going to put every single thing in here, if it can be something that can be tweaked and modified and
No, that did
customized,
not
I
cross
think
my
they'll allow
mind.
for it. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, with the new systems and stuff, I'm hoping they're
Yeah.
really reaching for the stars on this. What were you more? What were you more thinking when you heard that?
I was just thinking like a ton of vehicles and like a high player count or something like that. But
Oh, you were thinking of like a Battlefield version of Halo, just like a
maybe.
very open like field full of like terrain and stuff like that, and then just players like going at it. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Something, yeah, like what else is in the sandbox? Well, I have some sort of customization. I have the feeling that I think that's actually going to be a big thing about in their presentation is customization because they haven't like in the arena multiplayer. There's not a lot of customization because it's all equal starts.
Yep.
Their pickups. But I have the feeling that this mode that they're talking about is going to be like loadouts. Is going to be vehicle loadouts as well. Maybe some forge stuff. I don't know, but that's going to be where I think players can like really customize their Spartan and their loadouts, and that's maybe also where some of this other monetized items will enter. Like if you've noticed, like a lot of people have been pointing out that in the assets that have been coming out, that some of the weapons, like sometimes they have a scope on them, sometimes they don't. So people are thinking that there might be like some sort of weapon attachment system or modification system. Skins, obviously.
That
It might all be
really
completely aesthetic. There's
that
who
really
knows?
puts me off though.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's aesthetic, where it's like you can put a scope on, but you can like still zoom in, like there was a scope on it. If there wasn't a scope on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And if they just did cosmetics as like like free to play does, where they just sell cosmetics, I'd be fine
Yeah.
with that. But attachments, I'm not. It would really have to be one of those things where like attachments and customizing your weapon and thing like that is for that sandbox mode or any other mode
Yeah,
that
it would
isn't
be.
like actual arena Halo that everyone is like really wanting.
Yeah. I don't doubt that it would be. So I'm also kind of personally excited about Forza 6 actually. And only ever since I saw these leaked photos of it that show that they were putting in like their new weather system and also like day and night versions of some of the tracks. And
yeah.
I just really liked, I loved, and I'm still playing Forza Horizon 2. And that game kind of made me realize that I still do really like racers. I used to play them a lot. It kind of took a long break, but this game really got me back into it. So I'm actually excited for Forza 6. And I think that's kind of it from Microsoft's. Is there anything else you guys wanted to?
What I don't like, I think I voiced this concern last year too, is this is a case of the usual suspects here. Like we're talking Halo, it's Halo 5, but there's been more Halo titles, ODST.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got more Gears, but it's not even a new Gears, it's another Gears. We got another Forza. I'm more interested in what they're bringing in the new IP direction,
Right.
if anything.
Yeah.
The Battletoads title, or if there is a Battletoads title, because he wore the shirt. Phil Spencer wore the shirt at that. I can't remember when it was.
There'll probably be something.
So I'm interested in that, and I'm hoping they got something up their sleeve just to kind of mix things up. Some killer AAA title, not Sunset Overdrive.
No.
I
They're gonna talk about Tomb Raider, of course.
Oh, Tomb Raider, right? So Tomb Raider's going to be on there.
I'm very excited for Tomb Raider because I thought the last one was really well done.
Oh yeah, I didn't play it.
Oh yeah, dude. I've played all of the Tomb Raiders,
That's cool.
including the first one that came out in, I can't remember which part of the 90s it was.
Probably
But it was
97.
I
Yeah, I
didn't
think
like
so.
the last Tomb Raider that much. Probably
Yeah.
because it was super buggy for me.
Oh, I got it like a year after it came out, so I'm pretty sure I played like the most patched up version of it. But when I did play it, I thought it was just freaking excellent. It wasn't a game where I, kind of wanted to play again. It didn't have that replayability, but playing it for the first time through and collecting all the stuff and going through all the plot twists and stuff like that, that really just solidified my excitement for the second one, because the first one was more like, okay, you have Lara Croft and she is going on her first survival, basically. She's got nothing. She's completely new to the entire tomb raiding thing. And now the second one is like, okay, she's got post-traumatic stress syndrome going on. She's got, these issues that are, going on in the mental part. And then now you got new tomb raiding stuff. So it feels like a more weathered version of her, hopefully.
Right.
And I really want it to be super duper good. That's what I want.
You know what I enjoyed the most about that game, and it got me through a good chunk of the first half, was the bow. Like, I had a lot of fun. The enemies were like strafing side to side as they charged you, and you had to try to line up the shot. I don't know. The bow was a huge, and then cool. Like by the end of it, once you upgrade it, like you can get it cocked. Like it's like a super bullet practically at the end of it. So that kind of stuff. But I liked it at the beginning.
I think what changed something for me with Tomb Raider is the fact that the bow felt better than the pistols. You know,
right?
Like because ammo in that game was kind of scarce, so you're always having to use the bow in the first place. But then you get the pistols, and you're like, I kind of want to use the bow because it's much more challenging and much more of a rewarding feeling.
Yeah,
to like snipe a guy in the
Absolutely.
face.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just one of those things about that game that deviates from the franchise norm, and it gives me something new and fun to use.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, Electronic Arts. No Battlefield this year. That's kind of interesting.
You don't know that.
It's
But
not
there
gonna
is-
be. Yeah, it's not gonna be Battlefield this year, but I swear to God, they're gonna show some type of teaser for
Do you think
Battlefield
they'll hint
6.
at? Yeah.
Hell yeah! It's freaking EA.
guess-
They're gonna be like, bruh, look, moving parts of a tank.
Right.
Get hyped. And
Because I mean,
everyone-
they do have if you think about it, a pretty good showing this year. I mean, everyone's excited for Battlefront. This is gonna be the very first time that we actually see gameplay. So
yeah, not like last year where I wrote an entire editorial and got like the entire community that was like a bit of 100 people and asked them what they were expecting to see, and they're all like, massive amounts of gameplay, bro. And then they're like, we got the chance to go to LucasArts Studios and the archives, and we looked at the Death Star, and then we went on some vacations.
and then we took a vacation.
And then we went through the forest, and that's it. We're not showing any new gameplay, so have fun.
But so they're also bringing, of course, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which was that title was just announced earlier this week. So apparently that's no longer a like direct sequel, but there was a weird message from.
It's a retelling of her story. That's the thing. Like, it seems like DICE right now is more about rebooting franchises than they
so
are
it's
of
Need for
continuing
Speed.
them.
Another perfect example. They are rebooting Need for Speed. A lot of people, I think, based off the vibes that the trailer was giving, it seems like it's going to be based off of the or inspired by the Underground series.
Ooh.
And and then of course, what I'm most excited for, admittedly even more excited than Battlefront, is Mass Effect 4, aka the next Mass Effect game.
Is that definitely happening, or?
Oh yeah. Well, is it? Are they definitely showing it there? They haven't actually.
Is it
I don't think they've said
confirmed?
anything, but it's like they gotta. They've had a full
they
year
gotta.
to prepare something. Maybe
I'm
like
just-
a general synopsis and like a setting would be pretty cool, and maybe first look at some of the characters. That would be pretty cool for me.
I think Battlefront should be the first thing about this EA conference.
It
that
probably
they-
will be. They're gonna open with it.
Well, and the thing is that if they don't make it seem like it's one of the must-buy best games you'll ever get ever in your entire gaming lifetime, then people are going to pick it apart so fast that it's gonna be left to its bones and rotting. That happened with the in-game engine trailer that they showed at the celebration. Was that people were like, why are
Bad luck,
bombers
EA.
in there? Is there kill streaks? Why can't we control
Yeah.
AT-ATs? Why are they on rails? But the thing is that everyone that I've talked to who's seen the gameplay has said that it's
Yeah.
mind-blowing that it looks so good. But at the same time, I'm kind of like sitting there and I'm like very skeptical, and I'm like, it has to be like pre-recorded gameplay, not on a PlayStation 4, but on a PC that has been set to like absolute ultra max.
Well, a lot of them said
settings.
that they saw PlayStation 4 gameplay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what
Yep.
I'm saying is that I don't think they saw like the actual PlayStation 4 like sitting there, and they launched it through
Oh, they
the
could have.
menu
Yeah,
of PlayStation
they could
4
have very
and
easily
used
done a.
yeah,
Yeah.
and used a PC recorded gameplay that would mimic the PS4, okay,
Yeah.
to show off the gameplay. That's my issue, is that people are going, it looks as good as the pre-rendered trailer, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, no, it can't look as good as the pre-rendered trailer because it's a pre-rendered trailer. It's not
Yeah.
being rendered real time natively through the console. That's the thing. So
Yeah.
I don't understand how it can look in. And I've been told recently that yeah, it does look that good on an actual PS4. So in my high hopes, I really want to be proven wrong by DICE for the first time ever
Yeah.
that they get
I'm
it
expecting
right.
a lot of jaggies on the Xbox One.
I'm-
If- if-
the X-
720p.
Yeah, the
Yeah, that
Xbox
too.
One is just gonna. It just looks like it's gonna fall behind in terms of games.
In terms of multi-plat games, I am well, I don't know. I guess I'm lucky in that I actually like Halo and Gears of War and Forza. If I didn't, then
Well, dude,
yeah, I could
dude,
see
plenty of people who own the consoles love those games. It's just that like when you own, multiple platforms, all your multiplats are really either played on, if you own all of the consoles and a PC, all your multiplats are either, PC or PlayStation 4 exclusives for the Xbox One. That's it. I know a couple of people who do that, and it's just the fact that they go, yeah, if I can play this game, like if I can play The Witcher on PC, I'm gonna play it
Well, yeah.
on PC and use a controller. I'm not gonna, get it for the PlayStation 4 or Xbox where it's gonna look really, really bad.
yeah.
So I'm just hoping that DICE can show off the game on all platforms, hopefully. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be playable at E3, so we're gonna see some gameplay that might be
Yeah.
exclusive to other people. I'm not too sure about it, but I just hope that they do it right, that it looks good, that it delivers on some of the things that they've kind of kept hidden that people are hoping that they, include. I really want this game to be good, and I really want to
Yeah.
be proved wrong because I'm so jaded by them since Battlefield 4.
Yeah, I know. I think all they really need to do is have a good launch and a bug-free launch, a bug-free game, and for it to be fun. I really just think that all Battlefront needs to do is just be a really fun game, because it's Star Wars. It has to appeal to a really huge audience. It's going to sell a lot, like Call of Duty a lot, maybe not, but it's
more.
if there is anything that would beat Call of Duty coming from EA, it's this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so and I think they know that. They're gonna make sure it launches fine, and just actually, before I forget, because I was gonna say I do expect like a sort of Plant versus Zombie Garden Warfare experience from it. Like by that I mean something that's kind of just really simple and fun to play.
Yeah, it has to be casual, because if they do
Yeah, it's
anything
going to
that's
be-
more like technical, like Battlefield, then it's not gonna feel like a Star Wars game.
No. But so on that note, they're of course probably very likely going to show off Garden Warfare 2, and a lot of people really do like that game. Has a large place in a lot of people's hearts. It feels like.
I actually think that game was more preferred in terms of shooters from EA than Battlefield 4 when it launched. It was like that unexpected shooter from EA that everyone was gonna go like.
It's hard to find some negative commentary on it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it was very high rated, and I mean, it doesn't have like a super duper high player base for it, but I mean, from what I played, it was solid. It was fun. It was casual. It's one of those games where you get off work, you come home, and you can sit down and play that and not be frustrated.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. Before we move on, is there anything from EA you guys wanted to mention?
Titanfall 2 is going to
how did I
happen.
forget about that?
It's going to happen, and it's going to be multi-platform, and it's going to have a single player, like Vince Zampella said that there wouldn't ever.
It's probably going to be announced, but nothing's going to be shown. They're just
Yeah.
going to mention
No,
it.
I think something's going to be shown, at least a trailer.
A trailer of the developers working on it.
I feel like Titanfall is one of those games. Like, if they're gonna show it, I feel like they would have mentioned something beforehand, because Titanfall isn't one of those mic dropping games, like where
Well,
they're
it's
not gonna
definitely-
end it at the
honestly-
very end and be like, by the
Yeah.
way, Titanfall 2. Like,
I
they're not gonna
think-
get that kind of amazing reaction.
I think they're going to mention it and then debut it at this year's VGX.
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of. I feel like they would do like a little trailer, or at least like you said, mention it. But it's not. It's not a game that's not coming out this year. I know that for a fact. It's coming out
Yeah.
next year.
Oh no, they have too
They
much.
have Battlefront.
Yep.
Yeah, they have way too much on their plate this year. DICE alone has too much on their plate, for God's sakes. All right, so let's talk about Ubisoft. This is a special one for me because
Oh boy.
by special I mean it's like, man, like whenever they first started talking about the Division and Rainbow Six, like, man, I was pumped. Like Rainbow Six, where a large part of my love for first-person shooters was born. Of course, the Division sounds amazingly promising with the sort of direction they're heading in.
Promising.
But like, man, the closer we get to this year's E3, I'm just not as excited about these games anymore, and I don't know what. I think it's because, well, we've seen and played Rainbow Six Siege, and it's just nothing about it that made me go insane.
It was so
And it's-
bad.
It's probably the fact that their last 3 games have been completely broken, or
Yeah, honestly, for me
complete
personally,
lies.
not so much, because I haven't really like played a lot of them. Like I don't play any Rainbow Six. Excuse me, I don't play any Assassin's Creed games.
It was pretty bad. I rented it.
Yeah.
I know.
And
I know. I've seen. I've seen it.
It was
though.
unpatched, and I was playing it, and there's teleportation, freezing, game crashed every 5
know.
or so minutes. It
Messed
was
up
awful.
faces. But like, I'm really not. I find it, for me, it's like the setting of both games. I'm just not really pumped about. Like, even the Division, it sounds really cool, and even if it does, like, even if
Sounds
I
too
have,
good to be true.
I guess so. But I don't know. Something about like the setting for me and the.
They'll have the
I don't know.
best
This
looking
year,
trailers,
I find
that's for sure.
what's that?
Yeah.
They'll have the best looking trailers, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
They'll slap an
that's true.
in-game footage icon somewhere. Like,
Yeah, and it's all CGI.
downgrade-a-thon will be
Downgrade. I think for me personally, maybe this year I seem to be a little more geared towards sci-fi stuff. Like I'm still a big
Yeah.
fan of Destiny. I'm looking forward to Halo.
Destiny.
Yeah, your whole.
We'll talk
Destiny
about that
thing.
later. We'll talk about that
yeah.
during the Sony.
We'll talk about that
part,
when we get
because
to
I'm-
Sony and Activision.
I'm just like
Yeah.
sitting here, and I can't remember if it was our PAX East podcast that we were doing, but like we were talking about how we weren't even like excited for a lot of these Ubisoft titles, and it's just because like every time they show something, it either looks worse than it did like their first announcement, or it's like, hey, we're delaying this game again. We know you got you super hyped up, for this year, but it's coming out next year. Or like you played like the last installment of the franchise and it was just broken to hell. Or they do the alpha like Rainbow Six and it's just you're just wondering like how they can even, say that it's going back to its roots when clearly it's not. I mean, it's Ubisoft used to be my favorite publisher because they did no wrong. They came out with Chaos Theory. They came out with Rainbow Six 3. Those games were so.
I was just gonna say the last generation or no. No, it was actually the generation before that. Like my Xbox library was mostly made up of Ubisoft games.
Yep.
When they had all those Rainbow Six stuff, all the Splinter Cell stuff, the Ghost Recon stuff. Like man, that made up the biggest chunk of my library.
Yeah.
And then Xbox 360 last generation. I really did not own very many Ubisoft games.
Well, and the thing with that is that like Chaos Theory was like one of the last games ever to come out on the original Xbox. Okay,
Yeah.
And it was like wow, this is like one of the best stealth games ever
That was a good game.
created, hands freaking down. Okay, and then they came out with like Double Agent, and people were like,
You know what's funny, man? Double Agent was the better game on the Xbox than it was on the Xbox 360. They were actually two different games.
yeah, yep.
And it was reviewed
remember
better,
that.
and I played it on the Xbox, the original one, and I thought it was better than the one before that, than Chaos Theory.
And it's just one of those things where like I feel like as soon as like Double Agent came out that they were just like, guys, let's stop creating challenging games and let's adopt Activision's whole we're gonna start making a bunch of games every single year. They're gonna be very casual so they can sell a lot, but they won't be very good. And that's like what really killed it for me, because as soon as Splinter Cell Conviction came out, I was like, okay, this is totally a different step, in the wrong direction of what the franchise should go to. But I mean, it's so different, and it was so good, and I liked how different it was. But at the same time, I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, if they do another game like this, it's gonna be like really, really bad. And then they did another game like that, and it was like, what are you doing? You could have left Conviction where it was and then just called it quits on Splinter Cell, or even rebooted it. Because as soon as Blacklist came out, it was like, okay, here's Chaos Theory, Conviction, and Double Agent all in one game. Play how you feel, but we're going to take out every single part of Chaos Theory that you loved, and we're just going to replace it with Conviction stuff. And yeah, here you go. And Blacklist was like, okay, yeah, it's cool, but it sucked. It really did suck.
So, do you think they might announce or hint at another Splinter Cell game? This
if they
E3?
if they do, okay, and if they surprise
Jimmy's
everybody,
Just let it.
yeah, it's just at this
Just
point, it's like let it die, like please, because as soon as they announced Blacklist, they were like, yeah, Michael Ironside isn't part of the project anymore, but we're gonna continue the franchise on. Like Sam Fisher is still as old as he was, but he's still back in his normal roots, and everyone's like, why the frick would you ever get rid of Michael Ironside? And if they do announce a new Splinter Cell, it either has to have Michael Ironside in it, or it has to be a complete reboot and focus on some other character, because it's dead in the water for me at this point.
Let me put my Thomas Nostradamus pants on for a second. If I was Ubisoft right now, and I'm looking at the market, and I'm looking at the internet and the direction that the feminist movement is taking, I would be bringing Beyond Good and Evil to E3 this year.
Okay.
This would be, in terms of if you're trying to launch your IP into a new stratosphere, the amount of publicity that they would get from not only the major sites, but I would say ancillary sites that are just general tech sites, not even game sites. This would be the year to do it. So if they don't release it this year, either they just don't care about making money, or it's just the project's dead. The project's dead, one or the other. So my surprise title, I think Beyond Good and Evil is going to be shown in some sort of playable form this year. That's my guess.
Yes.
So
I agree.
what I want from Ubisoft this year mostly is I need them to sell me on Rainbow Six a little bit more. I want to see their terrorist hunt mode if they're gonna do one.
Probably
And
not.
yeah, I mean, I just kind of want to. I'm basically I'm sitting here thinking like, so where's the other half of this game? Like, if it's
Really?
only going to be multiplayer,
It's
I'm
going to
not
be in
sure.
the DLC. It's going to be in the DLC.
Oh, just don't say
Yeah.
that.
They need to do
You
Vegas
know.
3.
No,
Right.
no, no.
Yes.
They need to do
Or,
a
I mean-
proper sequel to Rainbow Six 3.
No.
Like they should do Rogue Spear too. Something
Yeah,
like
okay.
that.
What they
I'd be
really
down
should
for that.
do when they announce when they show off Rainbow Six is that they need to have Rainbow Six Vegas 2's customization, like the full set,
Yes.
because that customization in that game was unreal. It was like you have Call of Duty, okay, and you can only customize like your gun camo,
gun.
and then you have Vegas 2, and it's like you can put your own face in it, and then you can customize like absolutely everything and then layer things on. It was unmatched for the time. So they have to do that major customization at least for it, and they have to show off other parts of the game that would be, part of Rainbow Six franchises, like a single player terrorist hunt. But I really don't want them to keep the Vegas appeal of making it very, casual, because that's how Vegas was. It was just kind of like
That game was played quite competitively, dude.
Yeah, that really was. That was.
Yes, but if you remember, they are saying they want to take it back to the roots. Vegas is nowhere near any Rainbow Six roots.
no.
It's more.
No, but it was a good direction still.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was a bad game. I'm just saying if they want to take it back to the roots, like they said, look at Rainbow Six 3 and do Rainbow Six 3, but updated, new features, the customization of Vegas 2, and then at least offer stuff that isn't like hostage rescue and things like that. Like, they just need to announce new game modes in a single player so that
I
we
want
know that
hostage
it's
rescue.
like.
I want like a really good in-depth hostage rescue.
Yeah.
I think that's
And-
what Patriot was supposed to be before they canned it.
It looked like, yeah. I was just gonna say, speaking of customization, the last Q&A from Massive, they talked about customization in the Division, and that actually seems pretty in depth. You can customize layers of your outfit, so it's not like just your chest piece and that's it. It was like your vest and then the
You
shirt
mean
or whatever underneath it.
I can put a balaclava on my head, then put sunglasses on, then put a helmet
Maybe.
on,
I don't
and then
know.
put
I don't know.
another helmet, and then a visor on, and then color all of those things different colors so I look like a rainbow.
And then put googly eyes on it.
Well, because that's how Vegas 2 customization was, basically. Like, if they did that, I'd be
Maybe.
happy.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
So-
they're going to show off Division gameplay, too, and I'm not
Yeah.
really pumped for that because it's probably just going to be, like, the same crap that we saw last year, where it was, like, firefights, scavenge, close
just hope-
car doors.
Yeah.
Good job,
I hope the
guys.
setting. I hope the setting can be like. I'd like to see some variation in this setting because I feel like we've just seen the same things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it just kind of looks the same. So
It's all snowing. I want to see some summer. I want to see
Snow.
some rain.
it is
I
the
want rain
snowdrop
effects.
engine. So yeah. All right. So Ubisoft, basically their biggest thing this year is they need to sell us on their new IP and their returning IPs. And then is there anything else they're doing?
I want
mean, I
Aisha
know-
Tyler back, please.
Yeah, you love her, man.
Hands
Let's,
down, best
Oh,
conference last
oh,
year.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Oh, that not the worst reveal for a video game ever?
Oh,
Yes,
that
it
was
was.
so bad. That was so bad.
But we don't even need to talk about it because there's not going to be multiplayer. So moving on, let's talk about Sony.
I think Sony personally is going to have the worst conference in terms of content coming out.
What?
Think about it. Xbox is going to have a bunch
I
of new
agree.
indie titles to develop and announce. They're going to have Halo. They're going to have Quantum Break. They're going to have Gears of War and stuff like that. That's going to come out. EA is gonna have Star Wars, maybe Battlefield, Mass Effect. There's sports titles coming out. Ubisoft has Division, Rainbow Six, all that stuff. Sony's, I mean, at this point, the only thing that we know is coming from Sony is like Uncharted and Bloodborne. Like, what else would they be showing? Are they gonna show a new Gran Turismo?
I agree with you, Denny. I think Sony is going to probably have the worst conference this year they've ever had in a long time.
Last year's was pretty dragged on, but
it was still pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel that we already know most of the titles that they're going to be showing, and I mean, unfortunately, I mean, if they are going to show a new Gran Turismo, which is I think it's titled Gran Turismo Sport. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be the answer to Forza Horizon. It's gonna be open world.
Oh, okay.
I'm just taking a guess. That's what I'm assuming it is.
I'm gonna take Tom's Nostradamus pants for a second, and I'm gonna predict that they are going to announce that they're going to announce numbers for PlayStation 4 and how good it's sold, because that has been that has been Sony's like key bragging right in E3 since I think it was last year or the year before. It was just like, we sold 10 million worldwide within like the first like month, and we've done so much of this and this, and now we're brinking on 80 million, and everyone's like, great job, woo. Yeah, you guys earned your bragging rights, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna do it again. They're gonna be like, it's the fastest selling console ever. And that's gonna be the talking point for
Street Fighter 5. They'll probably have that on display. I think they'll start showing some of that. And
what they're gonna show is a bunch of just third-party games. They're probably going to show
that's
Battlefront
what I was just gonna say.
Gameplay.
They're gonna do, but and they're also, if the rumors are true, it seems like Activision is really leaning into their pockets a little bit more this year. So we are gonna see they're gonna get Black Ops 3.
That's the big thing though, is that for like the first time ever, we might actually see Call of Duty be revealed at Sony's conference instead of Xbox's conference.
It is a likelihood that could happen. We're just not sure if they're gonna do the whole DLC thing. Is it just gonna be a week? Is it going to be?
I mean, it's gotta have some selling point to it that completely screws over Xbox users, like Activision is screwing over PlayStation users right now, where it's gonna be like a month to wait kind of thing. But at this point, I'm thinking like, how is this gonna go down with esports and competitive? That's
why that's the one thing that is like,
that's what's keeping me from believing, because
a lot of people,
because the DualShock controller is, I mean, like, it may be improved, but for competitive gaming is, I want to cry, because it's not as ergonomic as the Xbox controller, and every pro who ever has played competitive Call of Duty is used to Xbox. Okay,
and it's a lot to ask for them.
Yeah, and unless Activision is handing out free PlayStation 4s and handing out free controllers and training them on this stuff, I don't think esports competitive Call of Duty will ever become what it is on PlayStation 4 that it is right now on Xbox. So I'm really just interested if Call of Duty partnership happens with PlayStation 4 and how that'll affect esports part.
Yeah.
The only real surprises that Sony is going to have is they're probably going to announce God of War 4, which isn't too much of a surprise. They're going to re-announce the Last Guardian, which at this point it's kind of expected.
Right.
And if they really wanted to surprise us, they would re-announce the Agents, because they've been saying since 2006 that the game is not canceled.
Wow. I totally forgot about that game. I would love to see some additional Uncharted 4 gameplay. I hope they come out with something there.
Everyone forgot about that game, Dave.
What? Just because it's delayed? They're not gonna. Come on, dude.
Well, they haven't. they keep saying it's not canceled or whatever. They're just
He's talking about the agent, not
yeah,
Uncharted.
the agent, not Uncharted. Sorry.
I was talking about Uncharted.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They'll probably show more gameplay and blow our
Yeah,
faces off.
I want.
Oh,
Yes.
Don't forget
Yes.
Drive Club PlayStation Plus edition. That's almost done
Oh.
finally. So they'll probably show that.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be their PS Plus title, their additional PS Plus title.
Okay.
No, you want to know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be like Drive Club. The free version is coming, guys. It's gonna be this fall, and then this fall is gonna arrive, and it's gonna be like, okay, psych, it's not actually done. We lied to you. We need more time. It's delayed, just like Uncharted
Yeah.
4, and everyone's gonna be like, well, didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
Speaking,
Oh, yeah?
go ahead.
No, I was gonna change subject. So.
Oh, I was gonna change subjects.
Well, damn, guys,
you
calm
change
down.
subject first then.
All right. Speaking of Rockstar, do you guys think they are going to announce a new Red Dead Redemption?
Hell no. Hell no. And the reason I say that is because they are too focused on Grand Theft Auto at this point. If they're gonna do any Red
And those
Dead,
damn shark cards.
yeah.
But I mean, they've done the bulk of the work now. They can't have their entire team still working on GTA 5.
Well, I'm not saying that.
But
I'm not
you gotta
saying.
remember
I'm not
those,
saying that it's. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Oh, you gotta remember they had those conference calls earlier, basically confirming that the game was slated to release or at least be announced this year.
I just
Right.
don't think they'll show it. Maybe saying as in they won't announce it, but what I'm getting at is they probably won't show any gameplay or any demos of it. It'll just probably be like one of those like last minute Sony hints where they just like show the title, whatever it may be, and then boom, that's it.
It would be pretty cool to see, though. I think they could pull off a pretty sweet next gen, and PC Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, and Jimmy, question. They didn't release Final Fantasy VII, the remaster, did they?
On PS4 yet? No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they haven't.
Remastered. You mean PC port?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, the remaster of the PC port.
I mean, if they like show it off, and go, hey, instead of a PC port and like completely remastered, maybe I'll buy a PlayStation 4 this year. Maybe I won't.
It's just a port.
Dude,
Buy it on
just a
Steam
port.
and
It's
plug in a
buy it on
PS4
Steam.
controller.
it's the only reason I'd ever consider getting a PlayStation 4 is if Final Fantasy
It's
looked.
just a port.
I'm just saying if it looks better than the PC version for
But
some
they-
god awful reason,
They
I
aren't
would buy a
redoing-
PlayStation 4 for it.
They aren't redoing any of the models. They're just upscaling it.
You don't know that they could
They
totally
already
they could,
said that.
Sony
Didn't
could
they
do,
show it?
It's not Sony. It's Square Enix. They've already said what
Okay,
it is.
Square Enix could totally do a 180 and be like, yeah, we're completely remastering it. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay,
Oh my
don't
god.
It's
don't
never
crap
gonna
on my
happen.
dreams, Jimmy.
Denny, I'd rather you
never
buy
going to
Watch Dogs
happen.
2, the collector's edition, than buy it.
I'm never buying a freaking collector's edition from Ubisoft ever again. The statue was nice, but the game was complete and utter shit.
Oh. I bet you also we're going to see some new games from Sucker Punch and Guerrilla Games. Probably that
Oh yeah.
the rumor Horizon game or whatever it is.
That RPG, right?
Yeah, that fantasy
Yeah.
RPG
No,
I
we
forgot
definitely are
about
gonna
that.
see something from that.
with the robotic dinosaur.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I forgot about
No
that.
Man's Sky or whatever. That'll probably be shown off a little bit too.
It's guaranteed.
That was a
to be
big
shown
gem
off.
last year. That was kind of funny how they really sort of exploded during E3 last year, and then we haven't really heard much since. I wonder if they have kind of run out of stuff to give, because I mean, honestly, we do know a lot about it.
Build it though. Remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah. All right. Well, I was also gonna quickly mention that it's most likely at the Sony media briefing that Activision will talk about the Taken King, which is rumored to be Destiny's big $40 downloadable content. Here's the thing, though. I'm very interested to know what is Bungie's what is their idea of a $40 expansion? Like,
just 12 stories.
Missions.
That's what they.
Why
I think no. I think it was already leaked on what content it had. It had 12 story missions, 1 new raid, and then a couple other stuff.
Well, yeah, but you got to also remember that some of the stuff that was leaked for House of Wolves didn't happen. Like, there was no raid. I think the number of maps they even came out with was different. Like, there are some differences, and I think they had a plan, but I think it was a pretty loose plan, that the one that got leaked back in the day.
I think the one that got leaked was kind of like, here's what we're kind of hoping that can get done, but if it doesn't get done, we still want to release it this time, so...
Or they change it, like...
Yeah.
This expansion has to be good. It can't be more of what we're getting right now.
There has to be nothing in it that revisits any other, like, anything else. Like, there cannot be another mission where I have to go through the same area backwards, though.
Well, what I'm hoping for is that they kind of build on the story, like, more than they have, and more like they've done with, like, Halo games and stuff like that. Because I swear to God, every time I watch one of the Destiny release trailers, I, like, get so freaking hyped up for the game. I'm like, oh my God, like, the trailers make it look so freaking good, and and sometimes I'm like watching them, I'm like, maybe I should, like, rebuy this game and maybe see if it's better or not. But then, like, I realize that it's still Destiny. It's still got the really crappy story, the really crappy voice acting from Peter Dinklage.
Well, you know what though, that's over and done with, man. Like, once you're done the story, like, you do not hear from Peter Dinklage anymore, and the voice and the the voice acting in both DLCs released thus far are actually, like, really top notch, man. People love that stuff.
But my main thing is that, like, if you watch those release trailers, it feels like they're giving off more story than what, like, actually was in the vanilla game, And for me to even get excited for this expansion and even sway me to buy the game again is if this $40 expansion, okay, is so top-notch with storytelling, missions that, like you said, don't revisit the same area 5 times, okay? Comes with a load of strikes, a load of raids, hopefully, something that equals most of what Destiny is now, but expands on it. I just want it to be more than what vanilla Destiny was, because it has to be. It's an expansion,
well,
and if it's not, then it's gonna do very, very likely bad.
So what I think they're going to do for this $40 expansion is give us those same or the new subclasses for each class. And they're going to give us hopefully, well, they got it. They're going to give us a new area to explore, like maybe another planet or something that is as substantial as some of the other planets. And it sounds like they're giving us more multiplayer maps than usual. And then, of course, this new raid, which is rumored to be Crota's father, because he's pissed now that you whooped his son's ass. And then, I guess an assortment of quests and maybe like 2 strikes, maybe 2 or 3, something like that. But even then, to me, that kind of sounds more like a $30 expansion, like, do you guys remember, like, what is how much was, like, Skyrim's expansions?
Skyrim's expansions were like 15. Well, actually, no,
they were like 20, weren't they?
Yeah, I think most of them were 20. The first one that they came out, the one before, the one where you could build houses, that was like $10.
Yeah, that was a sort of cheap one, but like the Dawnbreaker one, I think, was it called Dawnbreaker? Or
the big expansion ones were like $20.
Something with Dawn in it. Yeah.
But and the thing about those though is that they like opened entirely new and huge locations to
Well,
explore.
that's what I'm saying. That's why if Bungie is going to charge us $40 for this, it has to be a new area, something new to explore with new enemies as well.
It has to be 80% of a full released game. That's what it's got to be.
I suppose you could look at it that way, yeah.
And then they need to lock away about 75%
For future
behind
use.
more DLC.
Okay, yeah.
I
It sucks, man.
hope it's retroactive too. That it includes the first 2 DLCs. I'd consider it if it included the first 2. But
I think that's what the Comet.
Well, this is Comet, and that's but that's the idea. What we're all assuming is that they're going to, with this expansion, re-release Destiny. And who knows what the price is going to be, but it'll include the game, the 2 previous expansion, and this new expansion. So it'll be a pretty like hefty package, but what they're going to charge for it, probably not $60, probably like, well, I don't know. I don't even know.
$59.99.
Something closer to like 100 or over that.
Oh God, dude, I'm so fed up with spending $100 freaking dollars for a complete game. Jesus Christ.
And then at the same time, though, they'll probably announce Destiny's second expansion pass, and then talk about the last 2 DLCs that will come out.
And you'll defend it to death.
Well, I was gonna talk about this quickly because here's the thing, man. It's like a lot of you guys obviously are not playing it.
We all know why you played it. It's because you have friends that play it.
Hold on, no, I'm not. No, here's the thing.
Come and go. We should probably move on before this becomes a whole Destiny podcast. To be honest.
Hear me out. I wasn't gonna talk about like why I play or why I like it. I'm saying what's stressful about it and like what I personally internally struggle with is that I do love the game and I'm addicted to it, and like it's like their trick has worked. It's like I want to find out more about the story and everything in the game because they didn't do a good job of that in the beginning. The gameplay is enough for me to want to continue play it. So like when they talk about a $40 expansion, half of me is like, oh my God, like I'm picking this up and we're gonna have a blast with a whole brand new Destiny stuff, and I can't wait. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to support that. I don't want to. If it's going to be shallow, I don't want to give them $40 for that. So it's like a big struggle for me, and I'm sure a lot of people are kind of thinking the same thing. So it's sad because it's like their plan is working. It's like their plan has sucked me in and it's working. So who knows? But yeah, that we'll end it there on Destiny. What other games have we missed?
At Sony.
Wait, where are we at on this now?
Well,
we were
next
company?
is Square Enix.
Oh, that was next. I forgot about that. So there's Square Enix, yeah.
They will show Kingdom Hearts and probably Final Fantasy, and then everything
Just
else.
Cause 3.
And that one.
Oh yeah.
That game, oh my God, I can't wait.
Too bad it won't have multiplayer because the multiplayer mod is really fun.
Yeah,
I think what they'll do is they'll do what they did last time and be like, this game supports mods, mod a multiplayer into it, and then just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said they might release a multiplayer though for it later on.
Official support would be extremely nice because I mean when they were doing the mod for 2, it took over a year and a half for them to like get it down for it to be like super stable. Because I remember when they were like, yeah, we want to do a multiplayer mod, but it's kind of like up in the air on how to actually do it, and we don't know if Square Enix is going to shut us down. But then they came out and they were like, yeah, go ahead, we don't care, whatever, keep it going live, give us sales.
And I'm curious, since they did a remaster of Sleeping Dogs, if we'll see a sequel to that too.
That'd be a nice little surprise there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see something new from Final Fantasy 15.
We'll probably
We've kind of seen a lot of the same stuff recently.
Right.
And it looks pretty boring, to be honest.
Actually, I think they said it won't be at E3.
Oh, did they?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I just like to see some more. I don't know. I guess I could say combat, but they did show off
Yeah.
combat.
Yeah. It won't
still.
be at E3.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So no Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, that's basically all the Square Enix that's there.
Yeah, that's not a whole lot. So you guys are pretty excited about virtual reality. Obviously, earlier today, right?
Wait. We still have Konami.
Wait, no.
I know they're not having a conference.
Okay. Yeah, you're right though.
I just want to say one thing about them. Fuck Konami. That's all I got.
Now we know that Kojima is actually releasing a 6-minute trailer on Monday. That he did it himself for Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some multiplayer gameplay like the actual Metal Gear Online.
That would be cool.
I am wondering if they are going to address the elephant.
Yeah, that will be interesting. That will be interesting. They could easily just
have a lot
ignore
of mobile
it.
games. Honestly, they'll just have a lot of mobile games.
Oh yeah.
Probably mobile games and 5 Yu-Gi-Oh games.
Okay. Well, so that's Konami.
Not even gonna comment.
Future's looking bright for them.
I said all I needed.
Yeah. Too bad. And then wait, what
PC
were...
gaming show.
There's the PC gaming show. Yeah.
Okay, and
we were gonna talk about VR.
I'm freaking excited for the PC gaming show because it's the first like actual PC centric E3 conference that is happening, cool. And I'm just like so like that's like probably I'm more excited for that conference than I am any other conference because at this point I'm mainly a PC gamer now, and I really just want to see all that they're showing, especially DayZ, because
oh man, they're still working on that game.
Well, hey,
it's got it.
No, I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just like, man, that game has been feels like it's been in development for years and years.
Oh yeah. And the thing about it is that when I bought it earlier this year, it was like, okay, I could get into this game, and then within 3 days I had already clocked in 80 hours. Okay, even though there's only 72 hours in 3 days.
Shh, it's okay. It's okay.
What happened was is that it was just like it was so like immersive to play kind of thing, and it was really good, but at the same time there's like so many like infuriating bugs about that game, like the fact that you can die on ladders if you don't correctly like select to get on them. Like, it's ridiculous. And the thing about that game is
Nerf
that
the ladders.
The thing about the game is that as soon as you spawn in, you have nothing on you. You got a shirt, some shoes, and a flashlight, okay? And then you got to go searching for all your gear. When you die from a ladder and you have to restart your entire character, that just... But the thing about that game is that it's more like scavenging for stuff, and then if you get into a firefight, that is when your blood starts pumping. Mm-hmm. And what I'm really hoping for at the PC gaming show is that they announce a more detailed roadmap for what they're inputting and anything that they just haven't announced yet, because their roadmap is out there. It's public. Everyone knows what they're developing and what they're developing next. That's just how it is. But I'm really hoping that they go, yeah, new rendering engine is like coming like right now. Here's an update, blah, blah, blah. Here you go. Because then that would get a lot of people back into playing DayZ, because the last patch was like nobody understood why the devs were doing it, because it was just it was so bad. It was so bad.
I forgot to mention something about Square Enix. I really want to see a new Hitman game.
Oh, what about and we also forgot Deus Ex too. Didn't they reveal a new one?
Oh yeah. Jeez, yeah, we totally forgot about those games. Look at that.
So yeah, they got a decent lineup.
Silly Square Enix. I was wondering, like, so why does Square Enix have a media briefing? And I think that's why. Yeah, they're gonna show off Deus Ex, and I think they're gonna talk about a new Hitman game, a next gen Hitman game, which I love those games, so I would love to see like a next gen version of it.
I think
Yeah.
virtual reality is the last thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm
It
excited
hasn't.
too.
I don't know.
I think it's finally going to take off after Nintendo failed
Sell me,
20
boys.
years ago.
What'd you say, David?
I said sell me, boys.
Okay, so
No, I just yeah. I'm just. It's not. It hasn't hit me. The no excitement for anything VR has hit me yet.
I think
Other than like a cool thing I would like to experience for like an immersion's sake, like just a couple times try it, just see what it's like. But I don't know. I can't picture myself,
I think
just
Imagine
hopping on after work and putting on this thing on my head
yeah. Well, I think
and playing some Call of
I
Duty.
think a lot of people are looking at virtual reality and they're going, "This isn't ever going to take off. Like it's not gonna happen." And then you look at Oculus Rift's reveal today of what their final consumer, version of their headset is, and then you see like how many developers they have on board and the $10 million they are investing into indie developers to create games for it. I think that in itself is allowing them to create a very vast library of virtual reality games for themselves and for other headsets that may come out, like Valve's HTC Vive headset, among other things. And I think with Valve, Oculus Rift, and there's in Project Morpheus by Sony, that virtual reality will be one of those things where it's like all new tech. It's a huge buy-in, okay? Not
Yeah, it will be.
everyone is gonna be like, okay, we're rushing to the store to buy this because let's be honest,
Yeah.
this stuff is gonna be expensive. This is gonna be as expensive at least as a new console. Okay, people don't want to buy an entire new console, to play games. And that's what I'm afraid of, is that the first year is just going to be like, okay, we have all of these new, VR headsets, but they all cost $500 and above, and you
Yeah.
really need like super tricked out computers that are very modern to even run it. The Oculus Rift's minimum specs are literally my computer right now, okay? And my computer is relatively new in terms of its hardware, okay? It cost $800, okay? So not only are they selling the VR headset at a price at least above $300, but they're expecting people who want to try it to have a gaming PC that can actually run the damn thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really afraid of, is that they're expecting too much out of people to, do this stuff. And yeah, VR headsets are totally a gaming enthusiast level, piece of hardware. It's not like you're gonna buy it for your kid for Christmas, okay? It's
Yeah,
it's just-
exactly. It's a very specific kind of
Yeah,
gamer
and
that this
I
is
just think
targeted towards.
like all new tech, it's gonna be a huge buy-in. It's not gonna take off right away, okay? I mean, it's gonna have people on board to develop games for it, And one of the things that they also announced was that you can build your game if it's in Unity and an Unreal Engine, and you can build a compatible version for virtual reality if you want, and those engines are free. So
Yeah.
I think year 2 of VR, it's going to be much more affordable, at least. Okay, they'll come out probably with package deals. The Vive from Valve and HTC is definitely going to be one of those things where, like, next year, at least like next November in 2016, they're going to be like, okay, you can get this virtual reality headset and a Steam machine. They're both compatible. They can both do things, and it'll cost $600, $700. I think that's when as soon as virtual reality becomes one of those things where it's not enthusiasts, priced, and it's casual, everyday, stay at home family kind of thing price, that's when it'll really take off. But at this point, it's just hey, new tech have lots of money to buy into it and experience really, really good immersion. Anything else? Anything else we wanted to mention?
I think that's it. We're going quite a lengthy time here, so let's put a lid on E3 2015. It's coming up soon, just a couple days. Like I said, it's weird because it really feels like we just recorded this like a couple of months ago for E3 2014, but here we are a year later. It's time to sell us on some of your games. People like companies like Ubisoft. We want to be sold on your Rainbow Six and The Division.
No, we don't.
I'm excited for Halo. What's that?
No, we don't. Ubisoft is dead.
Give me Watch Dogs, the sequel, please.
We want to see Watch Dogs 2? No,
don't.
Yeah, so here's to E3 2015. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and let's tell us in the comments. Tell us what you are excited about for E3 2015. What do you want to see? Are you as hyped for E3 this year as you were last year? Because there's kind of a difference. The consoles are out now. Now we really just have like games to look forward to and not much else. So
and if you've made it this far in the podcast, because we are breaking on 2 hours, just so you all know, we will be covering all of E3 on MP first. So be sure to keep Twitter open.
Oh wait, are we?
We are.
Did I say that?
We are.
Oh okay. Oh dang. I better better clear my schedule then. When's E3 again?
I think it's this November. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes. There will be coverage on our website regarding, of course, most of the multiplayer stuff for that is revealed at E3 2015. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for hanging out, and have a wonderful night.
Cheers.